You may have learned that red, blue, and yellow are the primary colors. But have you ever felt lost not knowing what tube colors to buy and what colors can be used as the primary colors? So in this video, you are going to learn about the two color systems with the artist's primary colors written and how to relate these basic colors to artist's tube pigments. That will help you get sorted with the most important colors on your palette in order to simplify the color mixing process. So stay tuned. It can be very confusing to know what colors to buy when you have so many options to choose from. And I think that's one of the most common struggles that novice students have when they begin to learn painting. So I've put together a list for you which covers the names of artist colors that are commonly used as the primary colors. This list suggests names of the primary colors from the leading brands in the market. You can follow it for oil and acrylic. Before I talk about the name of the colors, let me give you a brief overview of color systems so that you can understand why this topic tends to be confusing and controversial. You may have realized that when you read painting instructional books by different artists, each of them might recommend a different set of colors as their primaries. There are two color systems where painters usually root their primary colors in. The subtractive color system, or CMY for cyan, magenta, and yellow, and the standard or traditional system, RYB, for red, yellow, and blue. The subtractive color system, CMY, is based on the mixing of a limited set of dyes, inks, and paint pigments to create a wider range of colors. So in this model, the primary colors are cyan blue, magenta, and yellow. Here, when two primary colors are combined, they create a darker color. For example, when we mix cyan with magenta, we create a purplish blue. Then when the three primary colors are put together in equal amounts, it results in black. That's the way that the printing industry works, as printers combine CMYK to create all colors. Many painters have adopted this model to mix colors using a limited palette of primary hues. The downside of that is that the artist's oil colors don't match exactly with these translucent dyes and inks. Our closest blue to cyan is phthalo blue, and in fact, if you mix the oil colors primary magenta and phthalo blue, you will get a darker and duller bluish purple. In my personal experience, it's a good model if we can adapt it to our oil acrylic colors that resemble the CMY. The standard color system is the most traditional model for mixing artist pigments. Red, yellow, and blue are the primary colors here. That's why it is also called RYB system. That is mostly used for art and art education. The artist colors that relate to these primers are usually crimson red or cadmium red deep for red, cadmium yellow pale or hensa yellow, and ultramarine blue. You won't be able to mix colors like vibrant pinks, turquoise blues, vivid greens out of these primers. So if you are painting pink flowers or landscapes like these, with bright pinks and purples, as well as turquoise lakes, you will need colors from the CMY system. You won't achieve them by using crimson red and blue. With that said, I would recommend you to have 5 key colors to use as your primaries, so that you can combine both color systems and benefit from their strengths. They are cyan blue or phthalo blue green shade, primary magenta or quinacridone magenta, Yellow. Yellow is the same for both systems. Ultramarine blue and crimson red or cadmium red deep. There are many brands in the market and manufacturers don't seem to make our life easier when it comes to naming those colors. There isn't a standard to name colors across all the brands, and these color names will vary from one make to another. So the most common names are for cyan blue, primary blue, cyan blue, phthalo blue green shade, phthalo cyanin blue, Windsor blue green shade, and cool blue. For magenta, primary red magenta, permanent magenta, quinacridone magenta, permanent rose. For yellow, primary yellow, acrylamide yellow light, acrylide yellow light, cadmium yellow light or cadmium yellow pale, Hensai yellow, Windsor yellow, and cool yellow. For the RYB system, red, crimson red, naphthol red, cadmium red deep, cool red. For yellow, it's the same as the CMY system, so I won't repeat it. And blue, French ultramarine blue, French ultramarine light, and warm blue. If you would like to know the specific names of these colors and the 7 most popular brands, you can download the PDF in the description area. On the PDF, you'll also find all the content of this lesson and pro tips as well. So now I'm going to do a demo just to show you a little bit about the color mixing process by using those 5 colors, okay? So here are the 5 colors I'd recommend you to have. The cyan blue or phthalo blue. This is phthalo blue, primary red magenta by my Mary Puro, primary yellow, crimson, and ultramarine blue. Of course, you don't need to have the same brands I do, so you can choose from those names that I listed there. And you can go with, what sort of brands you find in your city and that can be affordable for you. So you get the idea. And I put a bit of titanium white here because I'm going to give you a demonstration, just a quick demonstration about the possibilities by using these colors. Notice that we are still following the 3 primary color concept. I don't have here 5 different primary colors, of course. So it's 3 primary colors. The red group, we have just a variation, one more pinkish following the CMY color system, and this one crimson red following the RYB system. Okay, the same with the blue, cyan blue and ultramarine blue, both of them from the same hue, the same primary, but again from a different color system. For each situation, you should choose the ones that suit your goal color better. For example, if I mix, let's say if I want a very vibrant purple, I'm going to use this here, which is my primary magenta, and I will combine with the ultramarine blue and I get this beautiful purple. You may not be able to see as vibrant as I do because you're seeing through the camera eye, but if I add a bit of white here, you'll be able to see it better. If I want more like a turquoise blue, like those lakes that we see in New Zealand, like Lake Tekapo, Lake Pukaki, it will be the phthalo blue. Of course, you put a bit of white just to show the color here, then a touch of yellow, so we get there. And then, of course, if I want lighter than that, I just keep adding white. You can add a bit of yellow, you can see variations. See how pretty that is? Just by using those, basic colors. You don't need to have a bunch of colors in your painting box to start with. But using these colors, these 5 main colors, you can invest in better quality paints instead of buying many, tubes. You learn how to mix color and you have good quality paints. See, this is the ultra blue. See the difference? I would never get this here by using this color. Then see if I want more like an orange, bright orange, I can use the yellow and the crimson red, quite vibrant. Or if you're using cadmium red, you can do. Just be careful with cadmiums because they are toxic, so you can wear gloves. Orange. If I want a very vibrant green, I would go here. But for landscape, I prefer, say, more muted greens, so I would go this way here. So it's not as powerful as that one. Let's see what happens if I mix this yellow with this primary magenta. It's quite nice too. Quite vibrant, actually. It's even more vibrant than this, because I'm using the primary magenta by my Mary Puro. Some of the other primary magentas, like the quinacridone magenta, they can be quite pink, so it may not give you a very vibrant orange. And then of course white is just to lighten it, or to gray colors. So see, I can have a more grayish green. You can play around with these colors and see, what possibilities you get from that. See if I mix those two here, what sort of purple I can get. So notice that some colors will vary a little bit in hue. It depends on what brand you choose, what pigment quality the manufacturers have used in the paint composition, and of course what grade it is. So if you're using a student paint, you may not have your colors as vibrant as this here. Okay, so I encourage you to use a limited palette first, those basic colors, so that you can get a good understanding on color mixing. There are thousands of colors you can mix just by using a few tubes of paint. And it's not just about being able to mix colors, but the freedom that you have to create almost any color you desire and mix your own. Let's say that the yellow pigment is the only pigment that we don't have much trouble to identify, to find. The primary red and the primary blue are the ones more affected by the chemical limitations. So we have a limitation here in relation to nature's color. Another thing that's quite important, Winsor & Newton magenta, it's not the primary magenta. It looks like purple. The primary magenta is called permanent rose and quinacridone magenta. So that's it. I hope you have enjoyed this lesson and that it can help you to improve your color mixing and make your life easier. Don't forget to give us a like, and if you like the video, please leave a comment, and don't forget to check the free PDF that I added to the description area, so you can download and find there more details, more tips, and also a list of the colors from those 7 main brands. Thank you for watching, so I hope to see you soon.